Hey, it's Ryan Gillard here at Real Broker, your Calgary Realtor, and in this video, I'll show you what you can buy in Calgary based on your income and where they are located. Let's get into it. And real quick, this is meant to be a broad overview. So everyone's situation is a bit different. You know, your interest rate might be higher or lower than what I'm using in this video. You might be dealing on a property that has high condo fees or high property taxes. So everyone's situation is based on their own specific scenario, but this is meant just to give you a rough overview of what you can buy in Calgary based on your income and in what locations those homes are located. So just a real rough overview.
Now let's look at the entry-level options in Calgary, and I would say like the lowest that you might find for a condo in Calgary is around $150,000. Not too many options like that nowadays, but they do exist. So what does the mortgage look like and how much income do you need to qualify for that? So let's look at $150,000. So I'm just using the Realtor.ca mortgage calculator, which is actually quite good. So you can see here the down payment, I'm using 5% down. That is $7,500 as a down payment. Mortgage insurance, if you have less than 20% down, you need to have CMHC mortgage insurance, which is about $5,700. So the total mortgage required is $148,200. I'm using a 25-year amortization period and a mortgage rate of 5%. Now that's a good rate that you might see nowadays, 4.99, you might see like 5.2. I'm just going to use 5%, it's a good easy round number, and it's realistic in this market. It is March 18th, 2024, if you are curious, and 5% I'd say is realistic. The total mortgage payment is $862 per month. Now I'm going to take this a bit further here and let you know what kind of income you would need for this situation. So I'm using another calculator I found here. So I'm just going to type that in. So 150,000. I'm going to make it easy and assume that you have no debt. So 0 debts. And home expenses, I'm going to put in here, just an example I'll show you. The property tax per month, I'm going to say is $70 per month. And the condo fee, let's use $350 per month. I'd say it's pretty typical. I'm not going to do anything for heat because condo fees in Calgary will typically include heat. And you can see your income level at about $48,607, and you can qualify for a condo around $150,000 in Calgary. Now I'll show you on the Realtor.ca map. I'm going to pull up all of them here for a second. So right now in Calgary, there's 619 condos for sale, and there's only 4 of them that are below $150,000. So there's really not that many options, but they do exist. You can see once you get around the $200,000 level, there are much more options. But I'll show you this one right here, $150,000 in Whitehorn. This is a small condo, only 308 square feet, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. And the annual taxes are $841. That's where I got the $70 per month as the taxes. And the condo fee for this is $379 per month. And that includes caretaker, professional management, reserve fund contributions, residential manager, security, sewer, snow removal, and water. And here are some photos. So this is what you can expect if you're looking for a condo around $150,000 in Calgary. And next up, I'll show you what you can buy in Calgary for around $250,000 and what it looks like in terms of annual income that's required and the monthly payments. So I've set a search for condos around $200,000 to $250,000, and you can see they're actually kind of scattered throughout the city. Not so much on the west side or the northwest part of Calgary, but you can definitely find condos in this price range throughout Calgary. And I'll just show you here. There's one option I'll pick out here in Skyview Ranch for about $245,900. And so let's just put in here asking price $250,000, and we're going to do 5% down. So that works out to $12,500 as a down payment. Again, we need to have CMHC insurance because we have less than 20% down. Total mortgage is about $247,000. Amortization period, 25 years. Mortgage rate, 5%. And the total mortgage payment is about $1,437. And now for the total income required, let's put it in here. Mortgage amount, $250,000. I'm going to say we have no debt. And the income expenses, property taxes, I'm going to say about $75 per month, and the condo fee for this example is $259 per month. And again, we're not using heat because that's usually covered in condo fees. and we're using 5% interest. So that is a required income of about $67,047. So not too bad. There are definitely options in Calgary in this bracket, and I'll show you what this one actually looks like. So this one's in Skyview Ranch, a newer area of Calgary, built in 2017. This is a 589 square foot condo, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. Okay, the condo fee is about $259 per month, and here are some of the photos. So pretty standard looking 1 bedroom condo that you can find in Calgary. And next up, I'll just go through some of the townhouse options that are available in higher price brackets. Next up are townhouses. So I've done a search for sold townhouses in the past 90 days that are priced between $300,000 to $500,000. You can find townhouses as low 200s and all the way up to in the $1 million range. But for the most part, townhouses in Calgary are between $300,000 to $500,000 on average, and you can find them across the entire city. And so I'm going to use the example of $400,000. So $400,000, 5% down, that's $20,000. Again, we're not putting 20% down, so we have to pay for a CMHC, that is $15,200. Total mortgage of $395,200. We're doing a 25-year term. Mortgage rate of 5%. Total monthly payment is $2,299. And what do you need for income to be approved for something like this? So let's look at in this the income generator here. So $400,000. We're going to go with no debt to make it simple. So no debts. And for home expenses, I'm going to use ballpark price of $150 per month. That's pretty common for townhouses. And I'm going to say a condo fee of about $250. That's also pretty standard for townhouses. And a lot of townhouses won't cover heat, but I'll leave it at 0 for now, just to keep things simple. And I'm going to use 5% interest. And you can see required income for a $400,000 property, but $105,000 and $105,486. And here is a good example in New Brighton. This is in Southeast Calgary, a very popular neighborhood. This townhouse sold for $402,000, built in 2011. It is 1,127 square feet, 2 bedrooms above grade with 2.5 bathrooms, no basement. It has a double garage attached, and you can see here some of the photos. So pretty standard option in the south part of Calgary. A lot of condos look like this. And that gives you a rough idea what townhouses kind of look like in Calgary. Moving along, let's talk about single-family detached properties. And I would say the median price in Calgary of a single-family home is about $700,000. So on this search you see right here, I've set the criteria for sold properties 90 days back, just single-family detached homes between $650,000 and $750,000, and you can see they're just scattered throughout the city. This chunk that you see right here is largely industrial, so that's why you don't see that many properties here. And in this chunk over here, they're just priced higher than $650,000 on average. But you can find this price range throughout the city. And let's get into the calculator. So the asking price, let's say $700,000. So the down payment is different now. We have it at 6.43%. The reason being in Canada, from 0 to 500,000, you can put 5% down, and then between 500,000 to 1 million, you have to put 10% down. So that's why it's 6.43%. Down payment of $45,000. Mortgage insurance, because we're still not putting 20% down, so that is $26,200. The total mortgage required, $681,200. A 25-year term at 5% interest. The total mortgage payment is $39.62. And the income required for this, so let's go to this calculator now, $700,000. We're going to say no monthly debt, keep it simple. Home expenses, so the property tax, what do I have here? $315 per month property taxes, no condo fees because it's a single family home. You will have to pay for utilities, but I'm just going to keep it 0 here just to keep things fairly simple. And the mortgage interest rate at 5%. So required income for a $700,000 property is $178,900. Now this is family income, so it could be a couple and they're both making, you can divide it into if you had to. So 178,900. And I'll just show you an example here, just one because there are so many variables, but this should give you a relatively good idea. So here's a property in Scenic Acres, a very nice neighborhood in northwest Calgary. And the northwest part of the city is very desirable. So 700K. This is a roughly 2,000 square foot, 2-story property. 3 bedrooms above grade. It has 2.5 bathrooms. A walkout basement, but it's unfinished. And it has a double attached garage. So a pretty standard property, I would say. And here are some of the photos. So a bit dated, obviously, but you'll find lots of options like this throughout Calgary. And this just gives you a rough idea. Like a property like this, you could probably renovate it and flip something like this in our crazy market that we're in. But it gives you a rough idea of what's out there. And last up are properties priced between $1 million to $1.3 million. So where are these properties and what kind of income do you need to secure something like this? So I've just looked at sales between 1 to 1.3 million in Calgary during the past 90 days. You can see there's a bit of a separation. The western half of the city is more expensive than the eastern half. There are some exceptions in the deep south. Usually there are properties that are around the lake communities in the south. And so let's talk about one of them here. I think it was priced about 1.25 million. So let's punch that in here. So 1.25 million. So once you're over 1 million, you have to put down 20%. So 20% down payment, that's $250,000 down. There is no mortgage insurance when you're putting over 20% down. So the total mortgage required in this situation is $1 million. 25-year, I'm going to use 25 years, even though you can go to 30 years in this scenario. So 25 years, 5% down. Total mortgage payment of $5,816 per month. And let's go to the income calculator. So 1.25 million. Let's say we have 0 debts. And the home expenses, so property taxes, I think this example, it was $629 per month. It was a property tax, no condo fees. Again, you will have to cover utilities. I'm just going to keep it at 0 to keep things fairly simple. And the interest rate at 5%. You would need an income of about $321,744 to buy a property around 1.25 million with just 20% down. And so let's look at one of these examples here. So in West Springs, this is one of the nicest communities in Calgary. This one sold for $1.249 million. So it's a 2-story built in 2014. It is 2,559 square feet, 3 bedrooms above grade. It's got 3 full bathrooms and 1 half bathroom, a fully finished basement with a double garage. And you can see it's a pretty nice looking property. I'll just go through some of these photos here. And again, there are examples like this throughout the city. And one thing I should also mention is that you can find condos and townhouses that are also priced over $1 million in Calgary. So of that example, I'm just going to pull it up here. There were 231 sales that were in the past 90 days that were priced between $1 million to $1.3 million. And there were 4 condos, 2 townhomes, 40 duplexes. The duplexes will typically be infills in the inner city that are brand new. And there were 185 single-family homes that sold. So for the most part, in this price range, they are single-family homes, but there are some other options out there too. And this gives you a rough idea of what your money gets you for $1.25 million.
That should give you a real rough idea of what you can buy in Calgary based on your income level, what product types are available to you, and in what locations. Again, everyone's situation is entirely different. So if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. I'm easy to get a hold of. Shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. You can even comment on the YouTube page. I'll get it and get back to you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.